edition. I'm marvelous M.R. Richards, and today we will be talking about boxing. My guest, my in-house guest is, or my studio guest I should say, is none other than Anthony Severin of the Uprising Boxing Gym. But before I introduce him to you, we have to let our viewers know that Talking Sport is made possible by our platinum sponsor, which is ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, and they have been in banking for over 63 years and counting, and also 43 years of sponsoring Antigua Parish League cricket. So we advise you or suggest to you that if you have any financial or banking needs, be sure to check them out. They are situated at the corner of Thames and St. Mary's Street here in St. John's. Remember, ACB Caribbean, our platinum sponsor, Simply Smarter Banking, and also Blue Mountain Water. It is known as the greatest tasting water and also the purest. And you can get that at mega distributors on the American Road. Also Cecil Charles Group of Companies, Seco Pharmacy for all your medical needs. And their experienced pharmacist is dedicated to serving you and giving you the kind of health care that you need. And also they are situated on High Street along with Hutchison Limited, the agents for Pine Hill Juices. So whatever your fruity taste preferences, is easy to sip and smile with Pine Hill Juices, and they are situated on the Factory Road. Also plumbing and electrical for great service and good deals. Everything plumbing and electrical, all at one stop, and they are situated on the Potter's Main Road along with Brands for Less, and they cater for men, women and children, and you get all the brand names for and you pay less for them. So you can check them out, and when you do, they are situated on High Street, and when you do, you tell them we here at Talking Sport sent you, and they will sort you out. Now, my guest, as I told you a little earlier, is none other than Anthony Severin, who has been around boxing for quite some time. He is the owner and the manager, the coach, and everything there at Uprising Boxing Gym, which is situated at the old BBC building. And I've seen, you know, how hard he works with our young boxers, and we welcome him. And welcome, Anthony, welcome to Talking Sports.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure to be here talking on boxing. It's my passion, so I always appreciate the welcome, someone to welcome me into speaking about boxing.
Fantastic.
Happy to be on your show.
Yes, but tell us, first of all, how did you come by the name Uprising? Because I have a feeling that that Uprising says something about your gym.
Yeah, the word uprising to me, and that's a very good question, because that goes to the root of actually where we come from, and where we want to go. You know, we want to go to the top, so you can't forget your roots. The whole uprising is taking you from the bottom up, and you always have to look up, because your strength comes from the Creator. Yeah. So if you notice the logo, you will see the boxing gloves up, and the guys looking up to the sky, giving thanks and praise.
Fantastic. But how is the gym going, and how many kids you have at the moment?
Well, at the moment with the COVID, you know, we had to put the gym on a halt. We actually have a few boxers coming on the outside and doing the calisthenics, running, jumping, you know, doing the type of, but no hardcore sparring or any full-on training yet, because we're waiting for the country to open up a bit.
Fantastic.
And for everybody to be safe before we carry on with our sport.
Now, I know the association is not one that is, I don't know if it exists, does it?
I would say no.
Okay.
Because you need things to follow in a proper manner to say it exists. You know, I mean, yes, there is a dormant association, so-called. People would have been saying that they are the president, they're the secretary, but they're not following the constitution. And To me, it's illegal. It's something that we shouldn't tolerate. In sports, we need people to follow proper guidelines and, discipline, because sport is a discipline. You want to train children and young people to discipline themselves. So we as adults who would be controlling the sport, we would want to follow the same guidelines and the discipline. So having an association that haven't been functioning for over 2 decades, no elections, no meetings, and they would have been soliciting funds for boxers to compete through the NOC and the Ministry of Sports.
I was just about to ask about the NOC, if they are aware that they're not functioning and to know to pull that support until they get their house in order.
Well, I always tell people when we discuss this situation, it's bigger than just an association problem. When we have problems like that, we go to the head. The head of sports, the head of the NOC, these are where the problems lie. And we have to really face the reality. We need to talk about it as to where the problem is. If there's a problem with your body, with your head, then the body must have a problem.
A problem too, yeah.
Yeah. So we need to check the head and make sure that it's functioning properly in order for the body to function. So if there's a part of the body is not functioning properly, then something is wrong with the head. The head needs to make sure that things are in order so that it can function.
You kind of go vice versa. We say if the bottom slack, the head, the head slack. The head is slack, the bottom is also slack. But have you and anyone? Do you know when is election? Do you know who the executive body of the Boxing Association?
Well, I would know because I've been in this sport for over. I pick up boxing at a very late age, maybe at 19 I discovered the love and the passion for boxing. So I try to pursue that. And in my pursuing of boxing, I got to know everybody that's involved in boxing. And over the years I've known everything. I went to learning the sport, having to go to represent Antigua all on my own, not having nobody in my corner at one point. Had to raise my own funds to go to compete in games. The last few events I actually participated in, I did it on my own because of a lack of a functioning association. So after my quest for boxing, my passion never died, but as a boxer, when I turned 34, you could not fight as an amateur boxer anymore.
Right.
You would at the year when I was 34, I reached the top of it.
That's about 2 years ago.
No,
Because you look in shape, that's why.
yeah, because I keep active.
Very good. Yeah.
I turned 34 and I decided now I need to focus on how I could help the sport. So that's why I got the opportunity to go to Cuba and do the course in origin, and I came back and went to the ministry and asked them for support to get the location. I told them the present situation of boxing and how I wanted to help, with giving them a full plan as to what I was intending to do. But I'm still following my plan, but without a functioning association, it makes it very difficult. Because on a national level, when you want to represent the country and you don't have a functioning association with a good program, a grassroots program to develop youngsters, is just how far you can go, because there's events out there, national events, international events, that you would have to send youngsters to represent. But you would have to have a program here in order to develop the youngsters. And that's not there. There's not a functioning association in order to have those plans going. So I have a functioning gym, that's Uprising Boxing Gym. It's been functioning over the years since 2009. I actually opened the gym at the old art school with the place that I got from the government, the then government. And now we're up at the old BBC and we're still continuing, but we need support, we need a fully functioning association so that the youngsters can get the opportunities wherever they are.
Fantastic. Now, there's Uprising Gym, but are there any other clubs? I mean, all I'm hearing about is this Uprising boxing gym, right? And an association that is not functioning, you know. So what do you think is needed now? I don't know. I would suggest that perhaps you and other interested parties, you know, once again would try to have a conversation with the Minister of Sports and Recreation or the Director of Sports to let them know and to involve the NOC, National Olympic Committee, right? To get assistance, to get funds into the area. And they should get any sort of assistance, you know, as I said earlier, to get their house in order. Now, for the kids, what are the events that, you know, that the kids can perhaps start out with? Maybe like OEC, these days, boxing,
boxing gym because actually put together a support team that would work along with me, and we've been doing quite fine. Even getting sponsorship from
the private sector.
Yeah, private sector, because also private contact with the homeowners of Jumbi Bay, so they know of me and they know of my passion for boxing.
And you're interested
supporting me with that. If you go onto the Jumbi Bay website, you would see that they support private boxing. A few events in the region, you know, and they are invitational events. Like when you're doing that, you need a national association.
That's right.
Because you're going to represent your country. Mm-hmm. And what I always say to the youngsters that I train is that we need support from the national body. Mm-hmm. But right now there's one that's not functioning properly. Mm-hmm. You can't...
Yeah, I'm just trying to
and I think that's before I would go back to the start, I would have wrote to them, asked them first to meet so that we can plan how we develop.
Yeah, Jeremy, let me know when you're ready. Okay, and can you hear us on the show?
Just go along. So when a event would get an invitation to something, they would have boxers, we need boxers to come back. And I would tell them, well, no, not really, that's not how it works. We need to discuss and plan and look into the best interests of the use them when it's needed. To set up a program, whether it's a medical program, so that these guys are being checked. And you know that they are all right, because boxing is a tough sport. You don't want to send a boxer out there to train every day. He's not eating properly. You know, you need to look into this. You need to look into the science of boxing.
Jerry, I guess feeling good.
Make sure they're mentally ready. Make sure they're physically ready. Make sure they have what they need. So on a national, with a national program, going on, we need to make sure that they're supported. We need to make sure that they're supported in all ways, represented.
Yes. She's to be quite honest. I mean, you know, boxing is one of my.
Jerry, are you ready? Yeah, I want to know if you're ready so we can put you online.
Matter of fact, you know,
Just I'm actually hearing the wind in the background, so I wanted to know if you were ready.
because
I'm alright.
that the same way that he, the question that he bats is like Joe Fraser, you know. I was more like, you know, clinically like Muhammad Ali with skip and stuff like that. And you know, if I get away from him, he would ask me, how big is this ring, man? How big is the ring? If I have to get away from him, he would pressure me and stuff like that. So I have been following boxing and stuff like that over the years. And even locally, I see you are the only person that I see is, you know, that have a gym and catering for the kids who are interested in boxing. Yes. And I want to commend you for that. Right? And to encourage you to continue doing it, right? You can't give up on those kids. You know, there's some who have different issues in life, you know, some who come to trouble at home and they get themselves in fighting. Fighting is not a bad thing if it's well organized, you know what I mean? And if you have to fight for your right, you know, there's good things. Channel that sort of energy, negative energy, positive energy, and who knows? Just like we have had a couple of boxers, Maurice Hope from Antigua Heritage, back row, Gerald Bull Martin, his son now is also falling in the fighting gym and all these kind of guys, and they made it without assistance. So, you know, I am appealing to all those people who are in power, and those people who have the so-called president and general secretary and treasury and so forth, to really get the, you know, get things in order and try to create those opportunities for those young people. Now, but where did that passion about boxing come from for you? Where did it come from? Where did it all started for you?
Well, this is an interesting question because actually my drive, my passion for boxing, the way it's because it just revealed to me in a dream. I knew nothing about boxing. I was went to middle school, you know, just like mostly all the guys, being on the block, you know, and following the wrong path in life. Yeah. And I started working at Royal Antigua, and you know, I messed up my teenage life. End up, you know, doing a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to do. I decided I wanted to change my life and be more positive because I see how my mom struggled and stuff. So I got a job, and the first job I got was to wash up dishes at Royal Antigua. So I started washing up, and through that, doing that, I started to apply myself more to do other things, and I just had a dream a night. I never into boxing. I used to do a little exercise and stuff.
Did you watch it and so on television?
No, I never even watched boxing. Wow. I never knew about boxing.
Okay, go on.
Boxing never existed to me. I tried a little basketball, football, I do a little thing like that. But then, after that dream, I had a gym at Woods. I used to go to do a little workout before I go to work. Training sisters. I was so and we put in the so we put the blood and so
James?
That's what I remember of the dream. The next day,
James?
I had the dream.
The dream. Your video keeps going in and out.
And before, the dream, brother-in-law came and said, "Hey, I want to."
Yes, Justin.
You
Well, yeah, bring it. If you can make it, I'll
Just,
bring
I
it.
can't believe this.
Yeah.
So he took me to meet Morris Hope.
Wow.
And that was a world champion.
James?
boxer, you know?
Yeah, the older gentleman had a much more consistent video stream on the Zoom.
So he took me to
Maybe you can try his
Morris Hope told me if I was just like the man in the dream last week.
He was a man, eh?
And he put the gloves in my hand like he did, and that was it. I took off with boxing in less than 3 months. I won my first fight. It was a OECS fight, and I had to box against.
Okay, I'm seeing. I just saw someone a while ago.
Make it to the with only 3 months.
That's a five.
Everything I win.
Okay, great. All right, and that's the son there. Okay, now that's things constant. So if you're ready, I can put you on.
That event. So right there and then I never stopped.
The video went again.
And you know, up to now, after the lack of getting opportunities, I decided.
Okay, your video is
The
back.
last event I went to is in St. Martin, where I raised my own funds to go. And there was a big event in St. Martin. They had all the other countries, Trinidad, Barbados, it had Bahamas, it even had
Okay, the video is on again.
and I went there on my own. When they said Antigua, I'm alone walking up, no coach, nothing. And there was a Trinidad coach. I say, I'm going to come and you're fighting again. I tell him it's okay, I'm not even going to need water. You know? So in less than I win against South Florida, I win gold medal.
I'm not seeing any video at all again, guys.
And then after that, the same coach from such discipline. When we have the way in everybody with the entourage, I'm alone coming in to represent Antigua. I done there. I was 165 pounds made.
Guys, I'm not seeing you guys.
So I was disciplined enough to do that. So the discipline stuck with me, and the blessing that this coach gave me. He said to me, he never sees such discipline in a youngster. And if I don't make it to be I'll make it to be a good coach. And up to now, I'm fulfilling that.
Videos coming in and out. Videos coming in and out. It's stable for the last 10 seconds.
An association and there is story.
Yeah, you're stable for the last 10 seconds.
It was this Kathy. She was like the secretary.
That's right. She was.
But it dropped out. It just dropped
She
out.
called me in she called me to her desk after.
It's back in again.
And she said to me, she don't understand. Antigua was leading in boxing in the
At one time.
at the boxing come to into the Caribbean, and she can't believe I'm here all by myself. Where's everybody? Where's the association? You know, so even Carty, Miss Carty Harper know about this thing. And that's why a lot of the coaches in the region respect me, because they know me from since I used to be there. Even when I go,
The Lone Ranger with
when I go to events, they would invite me personally to some of the events, even like the French
Okay,
country,
in video,
Martinique, Guadeloupe.
and I hope it stays stable.
Because I have Dominic,
I think it's on.
speak to me in Creole.
It's gone again. The video gone again.
Invited Antigua through me to the Creole a few times. So I participated in this game.
Hi.
Through boxing.
Okay, I'm seeing you and I'm seeing James' son.
Passion is my love.
When it went out, it's just not staying stable at all. It goes in and out.
He started out in the uprising boxing
That's
gym.
right.
So, you know, I know for sure the program that I'm doing is a good
It's
one.
a good one. Yeah.
We could boast we had a boxer in the Olympics. Imagine if we had a good program going on.
That's right.
Just one person doing this, and a lot of the funding and equipments are in the gym. Worked and by a little.
Yeah, I'm seeing you guys, but it's just not stable. It's coming in and out, in and out, in and out.
It's not even the government.
Yeah.
the gym. I find ways to make the gym function by new equipment. So we need to look into.
But is there any way we can make it stable? Because I'm seeing you guys, I'm hearing you guys, but you're just dropping in and out. Yeah, it would be
investing
TYP
to the country.
826. That is the number. That is the one you're using, which keeps dropping in and out.
Equipment and facilities, so that the youngsters can get the opportunity, because a lot of youngsters have lost the opportunity. Even you have doing back then, I've seen a lot of
Okay, Jerry, I just saw you a few minutes ago, but it's just not stable at all.
Yeah, it's not, it's in and out.
Yes,
But, one thing I would like to say, and hope that, it would be interesting. It's so nice that when you have the athletes, I definitely get island support.
Interested.
It means that the athlete, I believe. One thing I was looking for when I was fighting is island support. Island support in here and somewhere. That had a national support. Man, I think I would have been a lot more than I did. Not that I did bad.
He would say
number one in the world,
where he could
like a bit of 3 times.
facility.
Okay, hold on, James. James, hold on.
So that
I'm going to let Mervyn. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you on screen,
representing you,
and I'm going to let Mervyn sort
you
of
represent
answer a couple of questions, and hopefully that you can try and come on the video, because it's dropping in and out, and you can say a few words, and then we can take it from there. All right, but right now you're dropped out.
coming under another program. So what I think that they need to do is get coaches.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you. I'm not seeing you at all.
Country. Not just the other day you put on a truck and say that we have to develop ethics. Yeah.
Right, so tell me, as you talk about in courses, so it's education, right? You had also, I think you
it was a course, and I did that for 2 weeks. But because of
I'm getting these guys, but the influence is really good.
my certificate,
You want to have Mervyn next to me.
so I think that I regret.
How you doing, buddy?
It was a good course. Learned
You these bad? Yeah.
things from
I'm getting that from my phone. I'm monitoring that. You want to still do it or something? Yeah. Close up, we just. So once you have a good idea, right. So once you have a good idea, you're expanding more, right?
next level. It's good.
And it goes by really just on the line, and we're bringing it into the How you doing, champ?
In everyday life, that's important
All right?
to try out. That's what it's for me. Maneuvering on a daily basis. So it's not just
I'm going to really hold on to that for a little bit, just to let our viewers know that, of course, Talking Sport is being brought to you by ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, by St. Charles Group of Companies through its pharmacy, Seco, and also Hutchinson Limited, along with Blue Mountain Water, plumbing and electrical, and also Brands for Less. Now we have a surprise for you, my brother. We have on the line, and hopefully we can get it good, because we're experiencing a little internet problem here. What we have on the line, zooming in, is none other than Jerry the Bull Martin, and a very good close friend of mine. We went to school together, Hubert Winter, and also Jerry the Bull Martin, his son, who is James Martin, who's following right in his father's footsteps. You know, welcome guys, welcome to Talking Sports.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118,
Now, Jerry, I have with me in the studio here. You've probably seen him, right? He's Anthony Severin of the Uprising Boxing Gym here in Antigua, right? That's James, right?
Yes.
Oh, right. And there's Jerry. All right. Yes. Jerry, as I said, welcome, guys, to Talking Sports. I have in the studio with me a guy by the name of Anthony Severin, who is of the Uprising Boxing Gym, the only boxing gym that I know that's in Antigua, and he's doing the best he can without a functioning association. And he's been doing tremendous work with our young ones, you know, and we just want you to tell him what he can do with the work that he's doing with our young ones here in Antigua and Barbuda. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to lend any kind of help that I can, you know, when I come forward. Because that's one of the things I was looking for when I was fighting. Not everything going for myself, finance, whatever, I didn't need that. What I need was support.
Right.
And I didn't see it coming. I would be a lot more. I've been pretty good. But I think I would be a lot more if I had a greater sport.
Right. Well, you know, Jerry, we commend you. We are ever so grateful for what you have done for this country. Right. You represented. You're from the village of Bowlands, round south.
Yes.
And we all felt so proud when we saw you fight against the might of guys like Saad Mohammed and gave all you got for the 268 Antigua, you know, with little assistance from us, you know. And I'm happy to know that your son is following your footsteps. I know that he has a good man in his corner, a man who has a strong heart. And in that fight against Saad Mohammed, I must say that Larry Hazard, what did you think? Did you think he stopped the fight too soon for a championship fight?
And then you just won where they could win.
Because you were beaten, you were beaten, or I believe you were ahead on points.
Beat him.
Yeah. And you know, yeah. And James, I see you in the gym. How are things going?
I got nothing in Denver.
I understand that you're having a fight coming up soon. Are you there yet? Fully prepared, or you still have some work to do?
Yes, I still got some work to do.
Well, let me tell you something. Your father, right? He didn't get the name the bull for nothing, eh? So what's your name? what's your name?
I go by
the young bull.
Sorry? James No Game Martin.
No game? What?
No game.
No game?
No game.
No game, Martin?
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. You see, even though we are from a small country, right? The population is just about 100,000, right? It tells you that it doesn't matter how big a country is, or it is what is inside you. It is what is inside you, and James, your dad had that. And if you have that, I know you're gonna go places. Yeah. No. I know Philadelphia. Philadelphia is known for a lot of good boxers, isn't it? Yeah.
I said, if you want to be a fighter, You gotta come to Philadelphia.
Wow.
I'm not stand. I'm the God Almighty Father. So God to come to Philadelphia. Joe there. I mean, any name you can call. But you want to be a fighter, you got to come to Philadelphia.
Wow.
Think about it. My respect. I mean, anybody you can think of, if there's a good fighter, you have to come to Philly.
Right. But what weight is James in? James, what weight are you in?
147.
147. And you've had a couple of fights now on your belt. What's your record now?
I'm 7-3.
Okay. Well, what's your strength? What is your strength?
My speed,
Right. And you look like a strong one, I tell you. Yeah. Yes, Hubert. Sorry? Oh, in November. Yeah, okay. And tell us a little of what you're doing to prepare for this in November. That's right. And how you feel? You feel confident? All right. You look like a tough one, boy, I tell you. You look like a bull, boy. Yeah. And a chip off the old block, I tell you. Yeah. And you're giving them everything that you had, eh? Hey, Jerry? Jerry, you're giving them everything you got.
That's it. You know,
That's right. Now, my good friend Ronan Matthew, he says to tell you hello. I told him you were going to be on Talking Sports.
Okay.
And I would have you on. And he says, oh, give my good friend Jerry his regards, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because he lived in Vegas and he saw a couple of your fights.
Oh, it is very.
Yeah.
I went fight in Vegas one time.
Yeah.
I fought Brad Hawaii. Muhammad.
That's right.
At the show booth.
Hey, James, you look like a serious one too, boy, I tell you. You not only look like a bull, you look serious. You look mean. Yeah. Boy, I tell you. Yeah, but I just want to tell you how proud we are, you know, Jerry, because, you know, a lot of people who are coming on now don't understand that some the road was paved for them, right? By you trailblazers, you know. And I mean, you came up against the might of guys who had better facilities, you know, better trainers and whatnot. We came with our hearts.
And just think when I was back home in Nigeria, training, you know what I used to do? The plywood on the ground, and that's where kids jump the ropes there, and a piece of plywood.
Whoa, piece of plywood, huh?
Imagine it.
No. But I just want to say too, right, and this is to establish a partnership. When I say partnership, because as I said, Anthony here in Antigua is doing the best he can with some of our young people, right? So anytime at all that you're in Antigua, you know, through Hubert, you can get in touch with me, and we can always hook up, and you can always, you know, drop in. You are James, eh?
I think if you have so much talent and so much to offer, I would really love to be able to do that. I'm going to work towards that.
Fantastic.
Come on.
Sorry, James?
Yes, I will fight about him.
I'm not hearing you too well, I'm sorry.
Yes, I will fight about him.
Yeah. How old are you now, James? How old are you?
24.
24. How tall are you? Solid, man. You're like an oak tree. Yeah. So, and how often do you train? Are you training for this fight in November? Yeah. And what do you know about your opponent that you're going to try to capitalize on when you meet in November? You're going to tear him to pieces, that's all? You're just going to get in there and tear him Yeah, that's good. Yeah. But I don't know. So, Anthony, if there's any question or anything you want to ask them, you know.
I would just like whenever these guys come to Antigua that they come to Uprising Boxing Gym. We like to have the experienced fighters from overseas to come and give us a few tips. What some of the prospects that we have here in Antigua. We have good talents, as you would know. Because you come from Antigua, we have guys with good talent. We need to just open the door for them, give them the opportunity. So if they can see you guys that's been in the boxing, come into the gym and mingle with them, give them a few advice, that would be well appreciated.
One thing I think they underestimate the talent because the country is small.
That's right.
If they had a small country, they had a big heart.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's right.
But we need to actually set up the facilities here in Antigua, so that the guys can get the opportunities. They don't just have to go overseas, at least they could start the groundwork here and then later go to Philly and carry on, get the experience.
Yeah, and just tear them apart. Because they're hungry guys here, man. But as I said, they as Anthony said, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the support of association or government for that matter, and so they're left on their own, Yeah, but we I'm telling you, I am extremely proud of you, my brother. Trust me, I'm indeed proud of you. Anyone who go there and do the best for their country, I am with that. I am in that person's corner, and we want to, thank you very much, man, for representing, right? And I know once you you give your son all that you had, right? His background of where he's from, where his roots are from, is strong, and I know he will do well.
Jerry, have you ever came in contact with Jim, fighting Jim?
He's killing them in Antigua, don't he?
Yes. Yeah, back in the days, you ever had any fight out with him?
You had any fighting Jim?
We were stablemate. We train at the same gym.
Okay. Well, as a matter of fact, Fighting Jim works with Anthony.
Yeah, he come and give me a little help in the gym,
Yeah, he goes to Uprising Gym and gives a little help.
Yeah, he's out there in Jennings, so he comes to the gym on a regular basis to give me a little support,
Great. And those are good things, man, to come back and try to give something, and try to really create the opportunities for our young people.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think boxing is the easiest job I've ever done in my life. I think to me, once you prepare yourself and be ready, easy thing I've ever done, easy job I've ever done. But you gotta be prepared. You gotta prepare yourself.
No, James. I want to ask James this. Did you get into boxing because of your father, or you got that love on your own?
A little bit of both, but I love it on my own.
You got it on your own, eh? It's in the DNA. It's in the blood.
I think so. My father was a fighter. My father was a fighter, so that's why I believe it was in the blood.
Okay.
I was a fighter. I wanted to be a fighter. He wanted to be a fighter. My other son was a fighter. He's a trainer. He's in boxing. Jerry Martin, he's a trainer. He was a fighter in the Navy.
Okay. So James couldn't get away from it, eh?
It's in the blood.
Hey, it's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Well, look, we thank you for coming and talking sports. We wish you all the best, James. Right? You just go and do the business. No game. All right? No game. Yeah, just go and work him out. Work him out. You know. And Jerry, once again, we thank you for your contribution to the country, right? To the people that you represent, those people in round south.
That's right.
Right? And it makes us think that we can come up against the world. You made us think so.
That's it.
Right? It doesn't matter the size of the country, or what religion you are, or whatnot. It's you. It's el mano, me against you.
That's it.
And if you think you're tough, I'm tougher. All right. So we want to thank you, Jerry. We want to thank James, and we also want to thank you for hooking up. Right. And as I said before, all the very best, James. We're looking forward to hearing good things about you.
Thank you. We'll call you back to be voice.
Okay, my brother. Stay safe, eh?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Take care, guys. Looking forward to see the fight in November.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So, if you want to stay on and listen to the show, you can, eh? Or if it's totally up to you. Or if you guys want to go and get some rest, because I know you guys have been training.
It looked like he's going to go work out. I don't know, but I'm just, I can't stand out.
Let me see your fist, boy. Let me see your fist. Hello. He's going to train soon?
He's going to come to Antigua?
He's coming to Antigua. He's going to have a fight. He's going to have a fight in Antigua. He wants one, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that would be a good thing. Yeah, we all rally behind him, man.
We just have to set it up.
That's right. Yes, man. Yeah, but if you stay on the line and you want to come back in, just to let us see a little of his workout, you guys can do that. All right?
Okay.
Bless up, Jerry. Bless up. All the best, man. Good. Yeah, man. That's great, man. This guy, Jerry, he fought again a guy by the name of and Saad Mohammed. Well, I think they picked him up. Matthew Saad Mohammed, and I think he got the name Matthew Franklin first of all before he changed it to Muhammad, right? And I think they found him on a street between Matthew and Franklin Avenue in Washington. And so I think they gave him that name from the street, Matthew Franklin. But Jerry fought this guy. He was a champion, the light heavyweight champion. And man, Jerry was beating him, right? I believe he was ahead on points, but he got caught with one in the latter part of the rounds, right? And Larry Hazard just stepped in. The step between them just says, look, just stop the fight. They say he saw him, his hands dropped and all kind of things he's saying and stuff like that. But I think with a championship fight, he should let it go on just a little, just to see whether, but Saad Muhammad was one of those boxers that regardless of how much you beat him, he still had the same power from the first round to the 15th round, and they used to go 15 rounds in those days, I think.
Extremely fit.
There was a fight he fought against Yaki Lopez. Yeah, they say that's one of the best fights. I think it was 1979 he had this fight. And he took 65 unanswered blow. On the ring. 65. And then after 65 and Yaki Lopez wore himself out. He just turned him around.
And he started working.
And when he hit, it was the same. It's not like he got beaten so his power dropped. He still had that same knockout power. So there were fights too, where referee come and look at his bloody eye and say, no, we gotta stop the fight. He says, no, give me one more round, please. And the one more round he wins. Most of his fights were like that, And he went and gave a good account of himself. And I thought that Larry Hazard, still again, for whatever reason that he stopped it, we would never know,
But you can see Jerry, as he said, that all he needed was the opportunities.
That's right.
He grew up and he was skipping on a plywood board. And we can do in this day. When I started with Morris Hope, he was always at some old building because it was where Mount St. John's is right now. There was an old hotel there.
That's right.
So he had a old room there. He
was Flamingo Hotel?
Yeah, he had a rope wrapped around the wall. That's where I went there and do. So it was no gym. One punching bag hung up from the roof. So it was, up to this day, if I didn't have Uprising Boxing Gym, they wouldn't have any facility here in Antigua, say for the country. And you want to send guys out to represent your country, and the country need to represent you here. So if you can't represent the guys here, how you expect to send them away and represent you?
Yeah, that's right. That's
it's unfair.
No, you as you said, you had an association with Morris, and what is it that you can you tell me something that you've learned from him that
To be honest, all I can say that what I learned was the beginning of boxing, but then I had to take it on my own. He was just maybe the door, as I said, from the dream that I had to get into boxing. But then after, I'll tell you another story. I was so interested in boxing, I tried to find ways to learn because I wasn't learning enough. I would go to the gym, I would try to ask questions, and he don't have a method of training. He maybe was a good boxer, but he don't have a method of training.
And sometimes that happens. Some people can't tell you how they were successful.
Right. So because he came up under a good program in England, so he became a world champion. Not taking anything away from him, that's good. Because of the program that they had, he got to excel. But here in Antigua now, we need coaches that know of the modern science about
boxing,
so that they can tell you why to do this, when to, and that's what I wanted to know when I started boxing. How much I should run, how much times a week I should run, what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat. So I end up at the library trying to find books on boxing. I even found a book with Morris Hope in there. So I know he's been a great boxer, but I found a small book. And I took it home and I did photocopy it, and it showed you the youngsters just walking outside on the street and look up and saw a sign up, boxing gym. And he went in and they show you, in that small book, they show you how you must dress when you go to boxing, what you must wear, and the basics, the fundamentals of boxing. I'm a person, I'm very self-motivated and I can teach myself. I taught myself a lot of things. I taught myself to cook. I never went to culinary school, and right now I'm a private chef for over 13 years.
Right.
You understand?
Oh,
I started as a dishwasher at Royal Antigua. I left as the head chef of Royal Antigua.
Right.
So I've been around, and I know through the discipline of boxing, that's when I even learned even more, because it taught me to discipline myself, to wake up early in the morning and train, and to do more than the average. So while everybody is doing this, I try to do more. So it helped me to reach further and faster, concentrate and get rest and stay away from certain things. So it helped me with the discipline. It helped me not just that when life throw hooks and up to cut and hooks at me, how to bob and weave through life trials. And even though I get knocked down, it showed me I did something wrong. Get up, brush myself up, think what I did wrong, and find another way.
Way to go.
So it don't teach me to give up. So boxing can teach you actually how to live your life. So that's what, when I discovered boxing, remember I told you I was a confused youngster going through teenage life, and boxing actually taught me how to become a man. I never grew up with a father in the house, just my mom. So it actually teach me what to stay away from, what not to stay away from, you know, and which way to go to in order to achieve, you know. So it can teach you a lot. So that's why now when I realized I can't become a world champion because I didn't have the opportunity, let me try and give it to the youngsters.
That's right.
Give them the opportunity that I didn't have.
Get a world champion out to those guys.
Right. So now I give them an open door. That's why it motivates me every day. I don't miss a day to go open the gym for them. It can just be one person that come. I'm there, I work with them, I teach them. There are some youngsters right now that have come through the boxing since 2009. Right now we're in 2021. So you would imagine some guys have become big guys already because they started late. And they living a quite a good life. Some of them got married already and have kids, you know, and they've learned the discipline. They're not out there messing around. They got good jobs, and boxing would have taught them to discipline yourself. Come off the street. Don't smoke. Don't drink. You don't live a life that you will damage your body. You know, and this is the type of leaders we want right now. Is the ones that would help youngsters, teach them how to go
the right way, the right
what
things.
to do, and give them, not just you trying to get all what you can get, because we have to know when to hang up our gloves. I knew when to hang up my gloves. I knew, well, hey, I didn't really get the opportunity, but let me see if I can give it to somebody else.
Right.
You understand? So we have a lot of leaders here now. They're still looking the praise and the glory. It's all about them. You need to step aside and give them. You come and give them a medal. Come and give them a trophy. Give them something. In order, so now you're not just looking after yourself. You're looking after the country. If you say you so love your flag and you love your country, look after the young, because it's their future, not you. Our future down God.
That's right. That's
We
right.
now just have to try and give them something to build up on. You know?
Yeah, but you said something. You said something that's very interesting, because you know, there was once this story about a family, and they had 2 kids, you know, but the father was an alcoholic, and you know, and would scream at their mom, you know, and one came and be like him, because that's what he was accustomed to, what he saw every day, right? And the other kid didn't do it because he said, you know, alcohol made his father a horrible person.
Right.
You know, so there are negative and positive things that you can take from, you know, or there are positive things that you can take from a negative situation. And that's the beauty about it. But so what do you think now? We want to know, what would it take, right, for the sport to move forward? What do you think is needed? Because I will assist you, trust me.
Yes.
Whatever it is that we need to go and do, to get things in order and to put people in the position that they can do the best for the kids, right? And to hold the government feet to the fire, that they should do something for these kids, and we present the case to them, and then we can work at it. What do you think is needed?
Well, first of all, we need to get a proper association. The one that's there, it's haven't been functioning for how much years?
No, I want you to, just don't say how much years, I want you to say approximately how much years, so that our viewers and people they know.
Over 2 decades, because I've been
over 20 years,
over
exactly.
20 years.
Yes.
I've been in sport for
That's
over
right.
20 years. Over 20 years.
That's
and
right.
from the time I started, it was the same people there. There was this gentleman that was here trying to help boxing, Mr. Woodbury, I remember.
Yes, I remember Mr.
He left,
Woodbury was
he went away. He was even going through a lot of political thing with them, the present Dormant Association, trying to help the sport. He didn't get through. He left Antigua.
There was a guy by the name of Larry Charles also.
Larry Charles was there
who was doing or trying to do what you were doing at the moment,
I spoke
right?
to him. He gave me everything he had.
Yeah, but you
with
see,
boxing.
right? But you see, the thing now is that he didn't have the staying power. When I say staying power, I mean he got fed up with the.
Yeah, he told me he done with that.
But you
Remember when I told you I was boxing on my own, I went to Larry when I was researching and trying to find all what I can find. I went to him, he had what they call Big Apple Deli.
Big Apple Deli.
He had
all the pictures of all the boxes all over
I
the
went to
place.
him, I said, Larry, I need help. I want to, he said he couldn't help me. He done with that.
Yeah.
He gave me all the books that he had. So I used to go home and read those books on boxing. I told him, he wished me good luck, and I went along. And not a few years after, when I into the coaching, he gave me all what he had of boxing. All the gloves, all the trophies, all the things that he had, that Woodbury gave him when he was leaving. He even gave me that, even canvas for rings and everything. He gave it to me. He said he's done with that. He have his family looking after. He's a Christian. He going to church, he's singing. Those are the things that he doing. So I took on the fight, and I'm continuing the fight, and I always tell them, I'm not going anywhere when it comes to it. If you think I'm going to quit, I'm a fighter. I'm going to stick with it. And I don't think I'm going
Make sure you
anywhere.
get it before the referee count 10.
I'm not going.
fight continues,
I'm not going anywhere. So when it comes to all that I would have put in boxing, I'm going to reap the benefits out of it. The country, the guys that I train, they're going to reap the benefit. I'm not going to give up on this sport, because I know what happened before with a lot of the coaches before they give up. They give up. Or like Dexter Simmons used to box.
I remember him,
Yeah, I gave him one of the biggest fights, and he was doing amateur. I had an event at Sugar Ridge.
I remember, I was at that fight.
Oh yeah. No retreat, no surrender. And he knocked
the guy out, I think.
And that was the biggest fight it's from all his amateur career. Yeah, so he actually done.
So he got an opportunity pretty late.
Late, and it's through a program that I had. I brought in a few fighters. I got sponsored,
That's right.
and he even got a check. That's the biggest he ever got in boxing.
Oh my God.
So just imagine just one person doing that for boxing. It's if we had a whole country behind the guys. You just imagine how far we could have gone.
I tell you.
So
and I think I spoke with Dexter after that fight, and he said he wasn't training. He had got a little weight. And
yeah, he got in weight. Last minute when I told him I had that fight for him.
He
came coming to the gym and he was doing the thing.
Wow. You see, it just tells you, that if they prepare, if they, if you fail to prepare, you have to prepare to fail, but if you only had that kind of early support, and you was training where you could have been a good boxer.
So we need to move forward now. We need to get the things in place. We need to get a proper functioning association so that the guys can get the opportunity.
Who is the so-called president at the moment?
Len Mossington. He's been the president from since I started boxing too. He has Barmore Stevens, the secretary, that haven't been doing anything with boxing.
He's still around?
I'm not sure. I heard he wasn't doing too well, but I'm not sure. I'm not in contact with him. And there is this other guy, Stephen Butters. You know.
Yes,
so
I remember Stephen Butters too. I saw him start refereeing. He was refereeing.
refereeing, yeah,
first
yeah.
and-
But he's part of the association, the non-functioning association. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
but these guys, Butters and so, I know these guys, and they have the interest of the sport. But somehow,
I don't
why
think-
they don't break out and try to do
I
something
don't
rather
agree
than...
with you. I don't agree with you that they have the interest of the sport.
Oh, okay, well,
If you have
it
the-
looks like he has the-
because that's what they want it to look like. It's
Okay.
all a screen, you know, making you think that because if you have a love for something and then you know the one person that's there doing it from the heart with everything they got, you wouldn't want to try and
Try to
build,
associate
and try to
and
build.
build it
Because
in.
I've wrote to them a lot of times asking, let's meet, you know, I'm not trying to be the association. I just want a functioning association so that the guys can get the opportunity. I'm a coach. I have a gym. So we want members.
And you have kids.
And
you have kids with you.
Yeah,
That's
we want association with members so that different members can do different things. They're responsible for different things. They can go out there and solicit fund, try and get, you know, do events. We can set up events. We can, you know, get the way a functioning association is supposed to act. You know, you have a president that would go on to the meetings, the international meetings for AIBA, you know, and then we will come back, we will have guys who will do courses, coaching courses, and, you know, so that we will be up to par with the international standards, and we will be able to have our competition.
Have you written to the NOC?
I written to NOC, I spoke to them, they know of the situation, and everybody turned a blind eye, because I know what it is, it's so political, you know, and...
But do they come in and vote?
But that's what I'm telling you. Somebody want to vote, and they know if they keep this like that, it works for them,
Okay.
and that's not right.
Yeah, right,
If you
okay.
know, because I'm gonna make this go, because even though it's not working good, because I am gonna get a vote, that's wrong. You know, and I see a lot of conflict of interest going on in there, and that's not the way you run something like sports. I think they should need to take out politics out of sport.
Of course.
You know, and let it run, you know, its course, you know, with people with good principles to actually lead the sport.
Govern the sport, yeah, govern the
So
sport.
that the guys can learn discipline, you know, not people for their own best interests trying to keep people there so that they may work for them.
That's for a vote, yeah, that's for a vote, yeah.
So, you know, I'm totally against that, and I think that's the reason why they don't support me, because they know I'm a person that I can't be bought. I stand for something, I stand for principles,
And you're
I
proud for
do the
it,
right
and
thing,
you're proud that you stand for it.
and I wouldn't, because I want this work, I'm going to do what you want me to do. You have to be doing the right thing. You understand? Let's do the right thing so it works for everybody, not just for you. You know? And I think we need leaders that would do those things, that would do things because it's ethical, that's the right thing to do. You know? Not because I'm getting a vote.
I mean, when I was there as director of sports, I thought boxing now had sorted themselves.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, I came to you,
Yes.
and you had to sign a few documents because I went to Barrymore Stevens, and he told me that that's it, they're not doing anything with boxing. So if I want to go ahead and do something,
Yeah.
it's up to me. The Barrymore Stevens told me that. So he gave me all the documents from my EBA, he gave me things that they had at the Liat cargo that they got from the international body. Gloves, all kind of things. I brought them to you
Yeah, I remember.
to sign.
I remember, yeah.
And I got those things cleared. And you know, me being honest as I am, I take everything to him. I got the computer, laptop, I got a couple box of gloves and head guards. After I bought them back from him, remember he got them for the help in the sport.
Yeah.
I bought them $10 a pair of box, hand wraps, got a couple gloves, and I brought them into the gym. So every time I'm running out, I go to him and I buy some more. You understand? Yeah, because them time I tell you, I just want to run my gym.
Of course, yeah,
So he
yeah,
gave
yeah.
me, and even...
I'm laughing because, I mean, it's something that you should have given you rather than...
Right, exactly. And
But go on,
remember, he
that's it.
told me that was it, boxing.
Is that doing anything?
And you know what he said? If I got a group of people together, I can maybe set up an association, because so I got the old constitution. I had it photocopied, and I got a few guys, over 15 people, to come with me. So what we were going to do was set up a subcommittee to have an election. So we had started the process. When I had these people, we went to recreation ground and had the first meeting. We invited
Francis?
Stevens, Butters, we got all of them.
What about the guy from Kennedy? Francis?
Yeah, all of them was at the meeting.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
I was the one that organized the meeting. But the constitution, I decided, well, we're going to set up a subcommittee because of what Barrymore told me, that get some guys, and if you want to help the sport, then. So first meeting, as we sit down, we decided who was going to do that, who was going to work on doing the constitution over, because it was very old and we couldn't, some of the things don't apply now, and we were going to have members. Unknown to me, so I got a call from one of the guys that was there that they set up a meeting without me, and they decided everything is working properly. So I went to him.
With some of the people that were in the meeting with you?
Yes, even all the
everything
people
is working properly with some of the people that were in the
are in
meeting.
meeting. So they try and call, they get a few of these same people to come, and then they invite me. So when I went to Mr. Barrymore, Stephen, and said, what happened? I thought you wanted me to do this. He said, no, we're functioning good now, Everything working. So I mean, what do you mean? You told me to do this, I went and do all the groundwork, and he started getting ignorant. Oh, we're working now, we're functioning. So I don't know what was said after I left, because Len Mustard, the president, and
Must have
everybody,
told him something, yeah.
they must have decided, no, they can't do that, because then it would have changed. They would have to have an election, and things would have changed.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you've been there for how much years and you're not working. Why continue with the same thing? You would have to change it in order to get it to work.
Of course, yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like any election.
Yeah, but I think I've said in earlier that I think you're the only person that have a gym, but I think this got a guy, Francis, who's doing something also.
Yeah, he's not doing nothing. They're there and they become part of the same association. They talking to them.
Okay.
They almost, because these guys want to be a part, but they don't want to do no work. I know.
Yeah, but they have to stand up against the status quo. I mean, if things are not working well, and you have the interest of your members or the kids who come and train with you, right? You have to go and represent them, you know, and try to do the best that you can for them. And you must be able to talk straight and be not, you know, don't be afraid to tell them that this is not going well and we probably need to change you.
Yeah.
The president or the general secretary or the treasurer,
Because
whomever
what
it
they
is,
do,
because
they get their way. You know, they get to go on a trip. Because that same guy, Kenny, got to go and do a course. You know, because there's the invitation or courses come along, and the NOC would send them out, and the association would say, okay, we're sending you on a course, you know. But you get to go on a course, and then you come and you don't do nothing for the sport. What it benefits the country.
So in other words, Uprising Boxing Gym is not a member of the association because they don't have any members or anything like that?
They just have the few people that's along
So
with them.
it's individuals who vote?
No, there's no voting. I told you over
yeah.
20 years, no election. So how can that be right? You know, so these guys need to stop what they're doing. And now there's another guy that used to be.
I think the international body needs to know about it, and I think in these kind of situations that they would send in like a normalization committee, tell them about the to bring up the constitution up to date, and to involve members and stuff like that, and to call, and give a time to call an election. So now all the interested parties would have to now try to get people on their team, right, and then challenge whomever is there at the moment. But I think the international body needs to know what's the status of boxing here, because there could be a lot of things that are going on in the boxing, with the boxing association. They may be getting assistance that is not filtering down to the people who really need it, or it should go to, right? So I think that's where we have to start. We're gonna get back to the end. We're gonna go back to the NOC. We're gonna write a letter to the NOC telling them that you want to know what's going on with boxing, with the boxing association, and if they haven't done any national event.
They haven't.
Right.
They're
not eligible to vote in anything. They cannot participate in any kind of voting.
They shouldn't be able to.
They shouldn't.
You would take a boxer to represent Antigua and you haven't had a national championship for how much years?
That's right.
And you say, and there's other boxers here that's here on island that can do better than the other boxer that would have gone out.
Yeah, they're gone off.
So that's not right.
Yeah.
So you would just choose somebody and say he represented Antigua.
Yeah. So I think that's where we need to start. As I said, you follow up on a letter back again to the NOC, and even try to get a letter also, or copy that letter that you write to the NOC, to the international body, to tell them the status of boxing. We've had too many people on island with a lot of talent that people are trying to harness, because talent alone cannot work by itself.
Right.
They need the pathway, as you mentioned a little earlier. They need to know that they are competing at the OECS level, and then they go on to the Pan American Games level, and who knows, somebody might see them or they can even fight out of Antigua once they have the facilities and the kind of training. Right? We have to look at people who are interested in boxing, who want to be coaches, and of course try to provide the education for those people, right? So that they can be in a better position to coach the kids that they're working with, so that you can make them the best that they can possibly be. Right? And if still, again, as you said, if you still don't make it as an international boxer, at least whatever it is that you learn, you can pass it down to someone who may burst down the door and get through, just like what Maurice Hope did, what Jerry the Bull Martin now has done, and fighting Jim and all these guys and stuff like that, without the kind of assistance. What would have happened if they had that kind of backup? We have seen it too many times in too many different sports. We look at the guy who went to grammar school here now, who won for the states, right, Benjamin.
Yeah. Because of no facilities here.
And so he and it's the talent he had, but it's harnessed.
And let me tell you, it don't take a lot one time now. Over these years, look around Antigua and show me the facilities, the sporting facilities that there is none.
Yeah.
No proper facility. No. So that is where our problem are. They're not doing, you got to start little, and you have to be consistent in order to reap the benefit later down. You see Jamaica and these countries doing so well in sports. It's because they've been investing. So now countries have to go there to find out what they're doing.
What is it that they're doing? The people, and then on the television, when they're representing their country, they show the beautiful island. So people say they take the vacation and go there. So it helps to bring some sort of revenue into the country. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad, and something ought to be done about it, because there is no other thing that we can boast of, right, that has put Antigua on the map than sports. Vivian Richards and Andy Roberts and Richie Richardson and all them guys. Okay, culture. You hear about the swallow and the short shirt and all these kind of things. I don't hear about, and then you may hear every now and then about the scientist, Perry, Dr. Perry, who was working at IBM and who installed that thing at the Coolidge Airport to let us know when a hurricane is coming on all these kind of things. He was brilliant. You understand what I mean? Develop products and stuff like that and stuff like that. But apart from these, I've never heard of any teacher or any politician and that has made Antigua what it is. And so we need to invest in our strength.
We need
right? And sport has moved us and let the world know that there's a place called Antigua.
We need leaders with the vision. We need leaders with the vision
behind it.
We need leaders with the vision. That's
you understand?
I'm
serious, right? Because it's a potential profession. It's a potential profession. I mean, guys can go on and get on the international scene and make money, and they come back and they employ people, they build houses, people have to build houses, they buy cars, people have to fix the cars and stuff like that. So the money is circulated.
Of course.
And so you have to provide the opportunity and create the opportunities for our young people to develop and to be the best that they can be at whatever it is that they want to be.
Yeah, we need to be, people need to stop thinking of self, and think national, think the country. And all that. You will reap benefits too now. Once the country developing, is growing, everybody gonna get. But it seems to be like some people, they're just thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about the poor, the youngsters on the street. And these are the same ones that end up doing bad to them because they don't have get away. They go and rob somebody.
And that's one thing I used to say when I were in sport, is that when I went out there to look for support, and I would go to the private sector, I would tell them, you either give me now or you may pay later. You understand what I mean? And it wasn't like a threat, of words, but I'm just saying the reality of things. I mean, I am working with a couple of kids, and I'm coming for you for some support to support those kids, and to keep them from doing something off the street, and to keep them doing something positive. And if you fail to do that, right, they may get hungry, and then you may be staring at a knife or a gun in your face because you failed to assist me. So that was one of my plug. And also, if they play sport, that they can keep out of court.
Right.
That's how the thing.
That one time I went to St. Lucia to an event, and they had a good theme of the event. Hands in gloves, not on guns. I find that was a good catch.
That's nice.
Because the young people,
like that.
they put their hand in the gloves instead, and they learn a discipline. Let me tell you, once you're doing boxing as a youngster, you can't be laid up on street corners. You have to get your rest so that you wake up early and train. Because then you go sparring, you're going to get beat up.
That's right.
By the most disciplined boxer. The one that would get his rest, go running in the morning and train and prepare yourself. So if you want to be up there at the top and you want to compete at a high level, you got to discipline yourself.
That make the sacrifice.
You can't go out
you say, bro, put it as the best way I see. That he trained years to run under 10 seconds.
Yeah, I understand.
He ran how many years just to run under 10 seconds?
Yeah.
That should be enough for to kind of let our kids know that the training is harder than the game.
But I always tell them that now the guys that I train, you see a lot of people want to come and pick fruits, but they didn't do the work.
Yeah, they didn't.
Just like the association, they will call me and say, Anthony, you have any boxers? They don't put in the work every day.
Yeah.
They don't know about the boxers. They don't know how they're eating, how they drinking, how their body is operating, if they're healthy. But they need boxers. They come. Anthony, boxers, it don't work like that. You want to pick fruit? Come, help me.
But now when they do that, when they ask you for these boxers, right? Who go with the boxers? I mean, people. Is it the people that work with the boxers?
No, what I've realized that they've been doing, right? They say they want boxers, but listen, they have to get the funding. So if they get names for boxers, they get 10 names. I give them 10 names. They go and solicit. Go to the NOC. They say we have 10 boxers. They have 10 boxers, and they need funding to go and to take these guys to these games. They get funding for it. They might go to Ministry of Sport. We need funding for this among the boxers. They have the names there because they exist. They get funding for it. It goes to an account. They can say to me, hey, they only got, or they got it late. They didn't get from Treasury, but they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And where the money? What happened to it?
That seems to be a favorite question. Where's the money?
Where's the money? I mean, you got the money, and you say, okay, yes, you got it late, so the boxer couldn't go to the event. But then after you get the money, what happened?
Yeah.
If you don't have, you can't account for it because you don't have meetings, you don't have election, you don't have nothing, you don't have a functioning association.
Yeah, and there should be an audited account and all of of money spent and
Yes, it's the
tournaments
government,
that
it's the
you
people's
participate
money,
in and
it's
whatnot.
government money, or
This
even though
is a joke.
you know, you have to write reports to say what you did with it, how it works, so you can't just be covering those things, you know? And if you have consistent meetings, so you have members, you have meetings, all these things will come out. So we will be able to talk, and this, but if you don't have meeting, how can you have a function in association?
Yeah.
That's why they call it association, because you associate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but as I said, I'm a fighter. I'm going to keep on fighting because I know it's for a good cause. So we just have to see. Hopefully, we get the people in place to make that the right changes. Because I don't think it can go any way different with the same people are there. That's my.
Right.
If you don't change that, I don't think.
Right. But tell me something. Are there anything new? Because I was looking at someone who had developed a kind of training method for reflexes, and they did it against a wall. Right. So in other words, you know, they flash a whatever color light on a wall, and you have to touch it, touch it quick. Just
that's why I say there's a lot of different methods and science. So
we're not there yet, are we?
It's not hard to get there because a lot of things that I've implemented in the gym, that I mean, the world has become so small. It's nothing that I want. I can't just go online and order.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I can see all the best boxers. I can see their training, because a lot of time they post there. You can follow these guys. You see their training. You see what they're doing. So it's not hard. So you don't even have to send a boxer overseas to train, because I mean, a gym is not nothing too much to have a few bags, some speed bar. You have a ring. That is one. I think is one of the sports that you have to have less. It's not that expensive, you know, to really run a boxing gym or run train boxers. All you have to do is make sure they're healthy. Nutrition's supposed to be fine. You know, check the nutrition. So it's not hard.
And any kind of physical training is more or less on the road or something.
Not even on the road. I mean, on the field, you know, you can do things on the field, because what science have recognized, and when I went to Cuba, I learned that it become very hard on your joints. You know, a lot of the old-time boxers used to run miles, so they would have damaged the wear and tear. They thought that was good back in the days. How much miles on the hard concrete? After a while, it damaged. That's why you need to have a good track for athletes to run with the right surface. Because it would damage after a while. The pounding, the high impact going to damage your joints.
It's the same thing like basketball, I suppose, on asphalt instead of the board and the kind of board that
When I started boxing, as I said, I didn't know much. I went down Fort, get sand, put in a crocus bag, and set up a punching bag.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you want to see how I bust up my hand, because I didn't know that's not the way you set up.
You were improvising,
Yeah, I didn't know, but then after, when rain hit the bag and the sand go down, it come like a rock. So I would be busting up my finger. My mom would come outside, because I have it in the yard, and see the bag, blood all on the bag, and she would almost cry, because she see me so passionate about that. I used to use the electrical cord to skip, you know. I just put on a little music and go outside, and I train because I don't know how. There was nobody actually teaching me how. There wasn't the facility. After a while I learned, and that's why right now I have a good functioning gym that I can accommodate the youngsters. Fantastic. So they don't make the mistakes that I made. You know, they have proper punching bags, they have speed bags, they have a proper ring with canvas and sponge, you know. So that's all we have to do. We have to help them, give them the avenue.
Right. You know, like I don't know. My right shoulder seemed to be giving me some problem. You know what I mean? And it's because I saw one of these punching bags and I felt I could. And I know I jerk something in there, but I didn't realize it's so heavy.
And warm up is very important, is it?
And as a matter of fact, I was reading also. the story of Muhammad Ali, and he said like when he was training, and he would do a certain amount of miles. You know, he had to run a certain amount of miles, and then he said well, after the end of doing those miles, that he felt like dying. And so he tested himself, somewhat like you know, the discipline. And he says, "Look, let me do one more mile and see if I die." And he did one more mile, and he says, "Wait, I didn't die." So let me do an extra. So it's always good to have that sort of self-discipline, you know, and to push yourself, and to push yourself, you know. So what can someone take away from boxing? You know, like they say in karate that you know, your hands become a weapon, and so you know, and it must be used for defense rather than offense. Like, you know, you don't go and pick a fight because I'm trained to be a boxer, you know, pick a fight, hey, you know, so you can fire a good punch, you know what I mean? So I'm saying, what can the youngsters take away?
Well, something I took away from boxing that taught me, because as I say, when I was going through my teen, your hormones making you get angry quick, you don't know how to control your emotions. And one of the things that boxing helps you to do is to learn to control your emotions. So, not just because you get hit, mean you have to hit back. Boxing teaches you to stop, think, I maybe did something wrong. What did I do wrong?
And make a good decision.
Put back on, put up my defense, step back. So you would need to step back. And in life, you could take that into your everyday life. Something went wrong. Step back, think, what did you do wrong? So it's
and learn from
it. You know, put up your guard, go back in, go back to basic. What is it that I'm doing wrong? Because sometimes you would have made a mistake, and you, with going with emotions, not realizing that you done something wrong, but you using your emotions to control you. In boxing now, in the ring, you got hit. You don't just go and start fighting. You got hit because maybe you didn't have your guard up. Maybe you fire your hand, fired a jab, but you didn't bring your hand right back. You drop your hand, so you left yourself open. You know? So
and you move your head.
You know. So boxing teach you to you can take that away from it. That when you in your everyday life, it teaches you to maneuver through life, ups and downs.
And it also tells you that when you get a good punch, you know, you can go down, but it's what's inside you that make you get up.
And you need to get up and brush
yourself off, and
watch figure where you went wrong, and then go
and go and fight again. Wow.
So it has a great
lesson, life lessons. Which is excellent. Look, we want to thank you very much, Anthony, you know, for appearing and talking sports. I think you gave us a mouthful there, and as I promised, that I will work with you to see how best we can get this association going, or to get the kind of people that's needed to push the sport and to provide that sort of opportunity for the young people that you're training and stuff like that. I want to encourage you to continue to do what you're doing. I think it's a good thing, and we certainly appreciate it, and we appreciate you coming on the show. So we want to say on behalf of our executive producer, which is Taddy Arundel, we also want to thank, Jerry the Bull Martin and his son, James, and also Hubert Winter for coming on Zooming on the program. And as I said, on behalf of our executive producer, who is Taddy Arundel, along with our technician, Mark and Orden, and our sponsors, our partners who make it possible. That is ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking, Cecil Charles Group of Companies, Truist Pharmacy, Seco, and Ultra Hutchison, and also Blue Mountain Water, and, well, Brands for Less, and also Plumbing and Electrical. We thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again next Monday for another exciting episode of Talking Sports. Bye for now.
All right, bye.